even though he'll have control of the governments too. But the Antichrist would actually, when he appears, there has to be a unification of the worldwide economy in order for him, to a degree that's a little bit farther down the road than ours is at this point. So I don't think that he's just immediately around the corner, but I could be wrong in that. The other way that it can actually happen is there's been numerous prophecies by saints, apparitions where Our Lady's appeared, like at Fatima, where 3 children saw her, but then there was a miracle of the sun where 70,000 people saw this miracle that actually happened there, where, so there's some of those apparitions. She actually talks about the fact that one of them is La Salette, where she said there's going to be a chastisement that's going to come, and that chastisement will be a minor chastisement, but it's going to be the type of thing where, excuse me, we're going to see infrastructure. God's going to basically allow some type of war or something that's going to happen to such a degree that, it's going to be brutal even for us who are good and who are prepped and ready for it and all of that. It's going to be brutal for everybody.
When you say, can't remember how you said it, but you said it sounded like you were saying the stage is kind of set. Yeah. Almost everything that's happened needs to happen. What has happened that needed to happen, and what still needs to happen?
Well, before the Antichrist comes, one of the things that we know from the fathers of the church is that there will be a worldwide implosion of people's morality. So, which we've seen, right? So that's happened since the 1950s. There's been an implosion where people just aren't following the laws of God or the natural law in any sense of the term. So we have that. The other part of it is, again, is the unification of the worldwide economies, because he has to be able to basically control people en masse. The other thing is, too, is it has to be something that the people that are alive, that in order to survive, you have to be able to plug into that economy in some fashion. That's why they talk about the mark of the beast. Well, we're almost there, where they could literally just decide, look, unless you're going to sign off on certain things, you're not going to have access to the digital currency that we're going to enact worldwide, and therefore, because that's how he could rule it. At least that's my opinion. I think that's one of the ways how he's going to control people, is through digital currencies, and he's going to just shut people off, and that's how they'll be able to basically starve people out if they're unwilling to sign off on the Antichrist's rules. So it's going to be those kinds of things have, as I mentioned, have come into play.
So we're talking like social credit score.
Yeah, that's right, among other things. The other thing is, too, is we also know that the Catholic Church specifically will have to be at a state where it would have to have gone through a prior weakening crisis, and then it will resurge, and then right before the Antichrist comes, the morals of people will implode, they say, in such a rapid fashion, to where this last 50 years will make our heads spin. It'll be that much more rapid. So there's some prophecies that have been fulfilled, and some of them that haven't quite been.
When you say good people, I mean, is that everybody? Everybody will be under the influence?
Well, they say that the Antichrist will be so charismatic, and it will be that unless a person has specific graces from God, you're going to easily get sucked into what he teaches and what he professes, which of course is going to be a rejection of Christ, and he will set himself up as the Messiah, but it'll be a political type of a thing. The other thing that has to happen too once he shows up, of course, the 2 prophets that are in heaven, the Elijah and Enoch, have to return. They're put to death.